Hello, good morning to all of you students. How are you? I hope you all are happy, healthy and fine at home. What did we discuss yesterday, or what were we discussing yesterday? I think yesterday we were discussing about the first target molecule. The name of that first target molecule is S-propanediol, because we are discussing the point number 3, that is a C. What is that? Utilization of the basic concept in the synthesis of following target molecule. And as we know that there are 6 target molecules that we are going to learn by applying the retrosynthetic strategy with respect to the Chiron approach or the Chiron perspective. That is our main route to carry out the procedure, whatever the retrosynthetic strategy as well as synthesis. So in a previous lecture we have synthesized, we have completely seen how that S-propanediol. So before that, let me tell you how name of those 6 target molecules. Number 1 is S-propanediol. Number 2 R-S epichlorohydrin. Number 3 is multistatin, or number 4 is L plus alanine. Then fifth one is minus pentinomycin. I think fourth one pentinomycin. Fifth one is a multistatin, and sixth one is a shikimic acid. These are the 6 target molecule. And as we know that target molecule means what? The molecule whose synthesis being planned is known as target molecule. There are certain terms used in the retrosynthetic strategy that we already learned. So while synthesizing the first molecule, what are the reagents we use? Let us recall those reagents. First one, sodium borohydride in presence of methanol, which is a reducing reagent which reduce, general we are talking about, which reduce the aldehyde group into as a primary alcohol. So that is the use of that reducing reagent. Number 2, we have used acetone in presence of the H plus. As far as this limited Chiron approach is concerned, these are the reagents we are going to use frequently in those syntheses, and therefore remember their role. What is their what are their roles in this particular synthesis of these 6 molecules? Apart from that 6 molecule, we are not going to synthesize other molecule. Only remember these are the 6 molecule, and the pattern of this is same. The chiral approach, chiral precursor, and from starting chiral precursor we are going to synthesize those molecules. So acetone in presence of H plus, the role of this reagent very specific. It is used to protect the 1,2-diol selectively, and therefore this is a role over here, and the third reagent we have used there. What is that? Lead tetraacetate, right? Lead tetraacetate in presence of the benzene. Benzene is used as a solvent, and lead tetraacetate, it is a reagent used for oxidative cleavage of that 1,2-diol, and that 1,2-diol is converted into as a aldehyde. Remember, that is a specific use with the help of the mechanism. Yesterday we have seen how it is applied and how we are getting as a aldehyde. And then next one we have used as a Raney nickel, and as we know that Raney nickel is nothing but again as a reducing reagent which reduce the aldehyde group into as a alcohol, right? Primary alcohol. And then we have used as a tosyl chloride in presence of pyridine, and tosyl chloride, it is one of the what we can call it as a protecting group. It protects the primary alcohol and here specifically the primary alcohol is converted into as a OTS. When OTS, that alcohol group get protected, and that OTS become as a good living group. And then further we treated as a sodium iodide in presence of acetone. What it will do? The iodide become as a good nucleophile, as we know that, and it replaces the OTS by I, and we are getting as a iodide. Displacement reaction takes place over, or the substitution reaction, just like as a SN2 reaction, attack from the backside, and we are getting as a this, and OTS becomes as a good living group. The rate of reaction is increase over there, and we are getting as a this one. So that type of the thing we have seen over there, and the solvent used there as a acetone. And finally that protected 1,2-dihydroxy group or 1,2-diol get deprotected with the help of aqueous H2SO4 in presence of the ethanol, and we got the finally target molecule. So these are the reagent and their role we have discussed. So what are the thing we have seen there? First one is the protection of the OH. That is one of the very good steps involved in those synthesis. And then oxidative cleavage by lead tetraacetate, that is another important step you should remember there. And then third thing, that is a protection of reduction of aldehyde group into as a primary alcohol with the help of Raney nickel, and then CH2OH2 is converted into as a CH2OH, means in a good living group by using as a tosyl chloride, and then the tosyl chloride CH2OTS group is converted into as a CH2I by using as a sodium iodide in presence of acetone. And finally dehalogenation. Dehalogenation means what? Removal of halogen atom, CH2I get converted into as a CH3, and deprotection we get the final product. This is a general thing we have seen yesterday, and today we are going to learn the second molecule, which is RS-epichlorohydrin. RS-epichlorohydrin, these are the enantiomer. Enantiomer, do you know that the what do you mean by the enantiomer? Enantiomer is nothing but they are the non-superimposable mirror images of each other. In the previous case we have seen R and S is used as a relative, used as a absolute configuration. In previous case we have synthesized only as a S propanediol. Why not the R? Because if you see its properties, physical properties as well as chemical properties, S propanediol act as a, it shows or it exhibit good biological activity, and therefore it is used, or it is act as a some medicinal properties it is showing, and that are it is a useless, and that why we are not synthesizing that one, and therefore, but in this case R and S and enantiomer, they have having everything is the same, but their physical properties as well as chemical property are the same, but only they rotate the plane of polarization in opposite direction. One is rotating the plane of polarization right hand side, and another one is rotating into as a left hand side, and that's why this is called as a rotation R and S configuration, that type of the things over there. And now here R and S both are the useful, and therefore we are going to synthesize both these molecule in the first. What is our general thing to start with? First part is a retrosynthetic analysis, right? We are using as a retrosynthetic strategy over here, and therefore whatever terminology using there, but here through Chiron approach, retrosynthetic analysis, retrosynthetic analysis. And as we know that retrosynthetic analysis means what? The process of breaking down the target molecule into convenient starting material by using disconnection, and FGI is known as a retrosynthetic analysis, right? And that disconnection and FGI, disconnection as we know that an analytical operation which break a bond and convert a molecule into a possible starting material is known as a disconnection, and FGI means what? One functional group converted into another functional group so that disconnection becomes possible is known as a FGI. These are the terms we are going to use frequently while studying this. Now is a retrosynthetic analysis, and this is a target molecule is given over here, and as we know that target molecule means what? Whose synthesis being planned is known as a target molecule. The target molecule here is a epichlorohydrin. Now let us see the structure of epichlorohydrin. Is this one is a chlorine atom, and then there will be epoxide. This is our target molecule. This epichlorohydrin, whether it is this has R configuration or the S configuration, how do you know? You have to give the priority number, and as we know that priority numbers are given on the basis of sequence rule or CIP rule. CIP means CIP. C stand for con, I stand for ingold, and P for Prelog. These are three scientists. They made a rule, and that rule you have to apply. That is called as the sequence rule. Means arrangement of priority group around the chiral center is known as a sequence rule, and there are the four certain rules are there. Four. Number one, atomic number. Number two, next atom. Number three, double bond or triple bond, and number four is a isotope. And by applying that, let us look at here tell me how many chiral center do you see here? How many chiral centers are present here? Only one chiral center is there. Look at here in the middle one, there is a hydrogen atoms are there. Here CH2, here also as a CH2, means there only one chiral centers are present here. And as we know that chiral centers are shown by RT risk, means that star. Now can you give the priority number to this? Look at one bond here, another atom is another group, this one, another group, this one, and this one. Now look at this is directly attached to oxygen, and therefore it will get the first priority, right? Now among these two, here carbon, here also carbon, then apply the second rule. What the second rule tells us that next atom, go for the next atom. Here is oxygen, here is a 2 carbon and chlorine. Chlorine is a bigger than oxygen, and therefore it will get the second priority. And finally this one is a third. You have to look only for 3 priorities, 1, 2, 3. for showing that rotation. Go start from traveling from first one, show the rotation 1 2 2 3. What is it? It is a counterclockwise. Counterclockwise means what? Yes, and that hydrogen atom fourth priority group present vertically, and therefore it will change the invert the configuration, means this epidrine has a R configuration. This is a R configuration, and if you put the mirror here, if you put as a mirror, as we know, mirror means in the mirror we can see the object, and before that we know that. Now this molecule looks here, this chlorine atom here, and this epoxide on this side, right? That's so simple. These are the mirror image, but they are these two are called as this become as this A, the R changes to yes in this case. Look at how one is here, second this one, and third one is this one. 1 2 3, this is R changes to yes, because this fourth hydrogen atom again has a horizontal one, and therefore it is a yes configuration. This is first one is the R configuration, second one is a yes configuration, and these two are enantiomers. Do you know enantiomer means non-superimposable mirror images of each other? Their physical properties as well as chemical properties are same, but they differ in the rotations are opposite. One rotating the plane of polarization right hand side, whereas another rotating the plane of polarization to the left hand side, and that's why they are called as enantiomers. And now the best example is there. So look at our hand. So these two hands, they are the enantiomers of each other, means they are non-superimposable. If you put here, look at here, one thumb is here, one thumb is there, means they are the enantiomers. So they are non-superimposable mirror images, and that is called as a enantiomer. Now do this is, as we know, that disconnection arrow. Yesterday we have seen the meanings of certain arrows. What are the arrows and their meaning we have seen. This is a disconnection arrow, right? And disconnection arrow, on it is written as a FGI, means functional group interconversion, or here you can mention whatever the named reaction in a general, but here FGI, functional group interconversion. And after doing this one, what do you get here? Remember, here is OR, here middle one OH, and here you can write as a R. Means look at in this case also, here you can see one chiral center OR, here you can give as a R dash, means this R may be as a different. If both are the same, there will be a no chiral center, and for that you can put here is a dash over there, means it is different than this R. R and R may be as a different groups are there, and that's why I am designating, and there will be a one chiral center present over there, right? And as we know that it is retrosynthetic analysis, it is for half mark, it is very very essential, and all these 6 target molecules, same pattern of retrosynthetic analysis. Remember here, because we are using as a chiron approach, so the starting material or the chiral template, this is a chiral, this is a chiron, you can call it, this is the intermediate which is a chiron, and chiron is obtained from the chiral precursor or the template. And as we know that chiral template means what? Whatever the apparent carbohydrate symmetry present in the target molecule, that is must be present in the chiral centers, same as in the target molecule, and that's why we are keeping the same approach over there. And now here again showing as a disconnection arrow, FGI, that is a functional group interconversion, and what do you get? And this will be obtained from this one, as we know that this one OH, this two OH, then OH, and this one is a OH. As we know that this is a D-mannitol, right? In the previous example also we have seen this is a D-mannitol, right? D-mannitol, and this is a structure of D-mannitol, and D-mannitol can be obtained from, again do the functional group. The way the FGI is written over the disconnection arrow means one of the functional group is converted into as another functional group, so that disconnection becomes as a possible, and therefore here what do you get? Here will be this one. Look at here, this is a CHO, then this HO and HO. Two hydroxy group on this side and 3 OH are on the right hand side, and this is called as a D-mannose, and this is a D-mannose, as we know that it is a starting material or the chiral precursor. How many chiral centers are present over there? 1, 2, 3, 4 chiral centers are present over there, and D-mannose, it is a epimer of that D-glucose, and these are readily available. From that we can synthesize our target molecule. Particularly in this case we are going to synthesize R and S epichlorohydrin, right? So this is what we can call it the retrosynthetic analysis. In addition to this, what are the things to write in the exam? While because analysis means why you are doing this, such cases are there. So for that, for S epichlorohydrin has a chiral 3 carbon oxyranes. This type of the compound is called as the oxyranes, can be conveniently prepared from glyceraldehyde, and this can be obtained or we can prepare from the glyceraldehyde. As we know that glyceraldehyde is a starting material for the synthesis of any this type of the what we can call it as a carbohydrates, and that is it is also known as a triose. How it is important that glyceraldehyde here, as well as in while studying as a carbohydrate chemistry we will see the details of that, but here in this case we can get the oxyrane by starting from the glyceraldehyde by manipulation at both the extreme, means two end of the glyceraldehyde, so that is the first point you have to remember in case of that analysis. Now second point, what is the second point to remember? By tosylation and deprotection of R glyceraldehyde derivatives, one can obtain monosubstituted derivatives which can be transformed to the chloride, that is the epichlorohydrin. So this, and the third point you should remember, alternatively by introducing epoxide ring at the beginning followed by mesitylation and routine manipulation or epichlorohydrin can be obtained, and a scheme for the synthesis of R and S epichlorohydrin are represented as follows. Now here we are going to synthesize this type of the compound. Let us begin the synthesis of this, right? Now is a synthesis. Hub part is a retrosynthetic analysis, and this is a here you can call it as a A, here you can call it as a B, right? This is a retrosynthetic analysis, half part is a synthesis, means actual synthesis in the laboratory. How will you synthesize? Now let us look at as the first one is the starting material or the chiral precursor is a D-mannose. What is that D-mannose? We know that the structure of D-mannose, this one CHO, then to HO over here, HO, then this side OH, then again OH and OH. This is known as a D-mannose, right? This is a D-mannose. This is a D-mannose. After that, we are using the first reagent we are using over here. Remember, is a sodium borohydride, NaBH4 in presence of methanol, MEOH, right? What it will do? It will convert the aldehyde group into as a alcohol, and you are going to get the compound over here, this one OH, and 2 hydroxy group on the left hand side and 3 hydroxy groups are on the right hand side. Here you can write like this. So this is, and as we know that this is nothing but as a, so this now retrosynthetic means what? It is an imaginary but logical reverse chemical reaction which help us to reach the reactant starting from the target molecule is known as a retrosynthesis. And retrosynthetic analysis we have done here, the analysis. Now synthesis, you start from this, prepare this and this finally. So that is a reverse, which actually forward reaction. This one, this is a reverse reaction and this is a forward reaction. Synthesis starting from the D-mannose, we are getting this one, and the name of this compound, as we know that this is a D-mannitol, right? This is the D-mannitol we are getting over here. And after that D-mannitol, what you are going to do, as we know that we are going to protect, and for the protection 1,2-diol protection is needed. And as we know that which is a reagent used to protect the 1,2-diol, while studying as a protection and deprotection, we already seen that that is acetone in presence of H plus, right? Acetone, as we know that C double bond O in presence of H plus, catalytic amount of H plus is required, and then it suitably protect the 1,2-diol. And what do you get over here? You are going to get the structure is this one, now O and just like this, and you will get here HO there, middle 2 OH remains as it is, only terminal OH, primary alcohol and another secondary alcohol, they suitably get protected, and we are getting this type of the protected D-mannitol. And after that, as we know that we are going to break the bond between these 2 diol, 1,2-diol, and we know that the suitable reagent for the cleavage, oxidative cleavage, takes place by using as a that reagent, and the reagent used is this one, PbOAC4, right? PbOAC4 in presence of the benzene. Benzene is used as a solvent here to carry out the reaction in the laboratory, and oxidative cleavage of 1,2-diol takes place, and we are going to get here 2 molecules of this one CHO, and this protected glyceraldehyde we are getting here, protected glyceraldehyde, right? Protected glyceraldehyde we have got here. And after that, what we can do here, let me clean some part of the board so that we can see this one. Now let us see here what is going to happen next one. Here this one we are learning the synthesis of the R and S epichlorohydrin. We arrived up to this one. Now that further treated with this one, further treated with sodium hydride, NaBH4, sodium hydride in presence of methanol. What it will do? It will reduce the aldehyde group into as a ketone, as we know that the function of this, and we are going to get over here specifically OH, then this protected 1,2-diol remains as it is, right? And after that, what you are going to use over there you are going to use as a, we are going to protect this one, then use tosyl chloride, TSCl. Yesterday we have seen the structure of tosyl chloride, parachlorine, paratoluene, sulfonyl chloride, that is the name of that tosyl chloride. In short, we are saying that is a tosyl chloride, and the solvent used here is a pyridine. And what is going to happen in this case, we are going to get the product, this one OTS, and this protected is as it is. Now you can deprotect with the help of, that is aqueous HCl, hydrogen chloride. Now after the deprotection, I am writing suitably here so that you can remember this type of the W there. Remember W means here is a OTS, and here stereochemistry you can show here, OH group must be here, and this OH, another OH is here. You can call this one is a compound, right? This is our A is nothing but as a chiron, you can remember this is a chiron. And now because we are going to synthesize R and S, up to this you understood this one. Now let us see this one. Now I am going to clean this one. Now you remember this is a we got. We are trying to get the compound over there. Now let us see here this A compound. I am again writing here A, that is a W type of OTS. Then in the middle one means that hydroxy group below the plane, this OH is above the plane, right? And now this one I am treating with sodium hydroxide, NaOMe. This is a sodium methoxide. Now this is a sodium methoxide I am using over here, and second reagent, this second reagent is here so this one, what is going to happen by using this one, first reagent and second reagent I am going to use here is a tosyl chloride, right, Cl, in presence of the pyridine. Two things I am doing at the same time. What is happening, NaOMe, it will abstract the proton. While learning the mechanism we will see, but here I am saying the sodium methoxide is a strong base. The function of that strong base which will abstract the proton from here, and then pyridine also as a base, it will abstract the proton from here. So what is going to happen, you are going to get here this type of the product. Now here O, this W I am writing as it is. Here is a OMS, right? Not here is a MS, not the TSCl. Remember here is a MS means mesitylene, MS, mesytyl chloride in presence of the pyridine. So remember here, and now OH minus is attacking, when it becomes as a minus, is going to attack over there epoxide form, and this become as a good living group, and that's why we are going to get this type of the compound over here, right? This is the first thing we carried out here, and after that you treat this compound with aqueous not aqueous, there is a concentrated HCl. You can use here is a concentrated hydrochloric acid. Concentrated hydrochloric acid, what is going to happen here, the this epoxide get opened, and chlorine atom is going to attach over there. So you are going to get in this case this one. So this W remains as it is. Here is a Cl, here OH, and this OH remains as it is, right? So these are the concentrate. After doing this, not like this, let us see what is happening here. While studying as a mechanism, we will see later on, but here concentrated HCl, Cl is attacking here, it get open, so that you are going to get here this species as it is. Here is a OH and this OH over here, right? This is this type of the compound we are getting, and here MS remains as it is. This remains MS, because due to the concentrated HCl, this epoxide get opened and we are going to get as a product like this, and this further treated with NaOH in presence of methanol. This one further treated with NaO, sodium methoxide in presence of methanol, MEOH, used as a solvent. Again, what is going to happen? This will pick up the proton from here, this is attacking over there, and then formation of the epoxide like this. So this W remains as it is. There is oxygen atom, this epoxide is formed, and this structure is nothing but, what is it? It is a REP chlorohydrin. This is a REP chlorohydrin. This is a REP chlorohydrin. This is a REP chlorohydrin, because look at here, one, then there is a hydrogen atom is here above the plane, one, then this one is a 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is a S configuration. S configuration changes to R configuration. This is a thing we have seen here, that is a path A. First we have seen, right? This one is a A, and here you write as a path number first over here. This is a path number first. Now let us look at as a path number second. Path second here. Path second means second route here. Path number one, path number second, because we got the REP chlorohydrin. Now we are going to prepare the SEP chlorohydrin. Again take down that one, is the same, this one compound as it is, OH, then this hydrogen atom OH and OTS. This is a right? Now here you treat this compound with PH3 or PPH3. PPH3 means triphenylphosphine in presence of CCl4, carbon tetrachloride. And if you use this, what you are going to get? You are going to get this compound as it is. Here is a OTS and middle hydroxy remains as it is, OH, and here Cl is going to come here, Cl, right? And after that you use as a, here now I am cleaning this one. Now here you use ethylene glycol. Here you use as a ethylene glycol, ethylene glycol in presence of sodium. What you are going to get? Then again the formation of the epoxide over there, and you are going to get this one epoxide over here. Again this is a first one, second one, third, and fourth one is a hydrogen atom here, right? Hydrogen atom, fourth one, 1, 2, 2, 3. You rotate this one, what do you get? What do you see over here? This is R, but actually this is a SEP chlorohydrin. SEP chlorohydrin. This is a synthesis of this compound, right? So in this way we have seen how this molecule, second molecule, there are the two pathway, path 1 and path 2, how we are getting as this compound we have seen just now over here. Now let us look at as a mechanism of path A and path B, or let us see the mechanism now here. Right? Mechanism, what is going to happen in the mechanism? Actually, we have completed the synthesis as well as retrosynthesis. Now we are additional information we are studying here, that is a mechanism. How mechanism is taking place over there, that we are learning. Now let us see the mechanism. As we know that starting material we have taken, that is C double bond OH, and then this one, 2 hydroxy group on the left hand side, 3 hydroxy group are on the right hand side, OH. This is known as a D-mannose, right? D-mannose, this is treated with sodium borohydride, and generally we are writing this H for the mechanistic point of view. Hydrogen atom Na plus minus charge over there. This hydrogen atom now transferred from here to here, and what is going to happen? You are going to get the compound like this, O minus, because here and 2 hydroxy group they are remains as it is, OH, and 3 hydrogen atom on the right hand side they are as it is. And after that, what is going to happen? Methanol using as a solvent, this alkoxide type of the compound will pick up the proton or abstract the proton, and you are going to get the compound like this, OH, this HO, then 2 HO on this side, and there are the 3 OH on the right hand side, 3 OH on the right hand side. And further we are using the compound like as acetone in presence of H plus. What is going to happen again? OH is going to attack on this, and this is going to attack over there. There is elimination of water take place. Same thing is happening over there. This OH attacking over there, and this is attacking on this, and there is a removal of water molecule, like 2 moles of H2O molecule get removed. And what you are going to get? You are going to get generally this type of the compound here, and 1 OH on this side, another OH on this side, and this O, and this get protected. And then that is here for the deprotection we can use here general reaction. Suppose is R, C, H, and then C. Let us see R here, H, here O, and O, H, 1,2-diol remember here. And when we are using as a PB, lead tetraacetate, OAC, then OAC here, OAC, another OAC. Now what is going to happen? This is going to attack on this, get removed there, again OH over there, get removed, and finally what you are going to get here? So this type of the, here is R, hydrogen atom O, then CO, there is a hydrogen atom R you can write here, and then this is a PB, OAC, and here OAC. And as we know that OAC means acetyl group. Now how this middle bond is going to break over there? Here you are going to get aldehyde, and this is going to get over there, and this double bond shifted from here to here, forming as a double bond. Means we are getting here 2 moles of R, C double bond O, yes, that type of the compound. Means after breaking that with the PB OAC4, what do you get? 2 moles of CHO, and this one O, this type of the compound, right? So this is a mechanism I am separately shown how the mechanism of with lead acetate. Here is a somewhat trans is shown so that we can clearly shown here the how the aldehyde is, how this oxidative cleavage takes place, that we have shown over here. And after that, what is the next point we have seen? After this aldehyde, we treated this compound with this aldehyde, protected glyceraldehyde, we treated with that protected CHO, then this O, this one, right? And this further treated with NaBH4 in presence of methanol, MEOH. The mechanism we already seen just now. So here what is going to happen? Only as a OH, and then here O, then O, this one protected. Now this is a further treated with which compound? This one is a further treated with tosyl chloride, right? Tosyl chloride, TSCl, in presence of the pyridine. Now pyridine what will do? It will abstract the proton from negative charge, is going to attack on this. So let me show clearly over here so that you cannot get confused. So here H I am writing, and that pyridine will pick up the proton from here, and you are going to get O minus charge over there, O and O, this one. And after that there is a tosyl chloride, TSCl. Now this is going to attack over there, this get removed, and you are going to get O, TS, and this O and this O protected, right? And after that this will be treated with aqueous SCl, and that deprotect. This is used for the deprotection, because deprotection is carried out in this, and it is very stable at a basic condition, and therefore acidic condition is used for the deprotection of 1,2-diol. And I am writing this one in a specific way so that we can understood as a stereo. OTS over here and one OH is here, that is the A part we already see, right? This up to that A. Now look at as a path number A here, path number first, right? Path number first mechanism. So let us take this one again as it is, OH, then this OH and OTS, and this compound we further treated with what? We treated with sodium methoxide, right? This one we are treated with NaOMe, and here what is going to happen? This specifically it will OMe minus will pick up the proton from here, and you are going to get this one. So here I am writing separately, OH still remains there. Here dash O minus, and here is a OTS, and further we are using as a what is that? We are using MSCl, right? Here MSCl in presence of the pyridine. Pyridine what will do? It will abstract the proton from here, and you are going to get this one. This type of the compound, O minus, then O minus again here, OTS, and after that what is happening here? This OH is going to attack over there from the epoxide, and MSCl, this one attack on it, and we are going to get this one. So finally we will get this type of the compound here, OMS, and here we are going to get as a this type of the epoxide formation, right? And three-membered ring is known as a epoxide, and this epoxide further treated with concentrated SCl. What is going to happen? This OH pick up the proton from here, and you are going to get first one, this protonated of that epoxide. In this case OMs, and here is a protection H is there, and whenever positive charge comes on that oxygen atom, that becomes very unstable one, and now there is a Cl minus. Now Cl minus is attacking from this side, and this ring get open, so that you are going to get Cl over here, then here will be OMs, right, OMs, and here again OH, right. So this is the compound we are going to get over there, and after that this one treated with sodium hydroxide, right, NaO, sodium methoxide in presence of methanol, MEOH. So what it will do, it will pick up the proton from here, minus charge, let us see here, this will pick up the proton, so negative charge over there, and this is going to attack over there, and this remove, so that you are going to get the this type of the compound over there, Cl, then this is a epoxide we are going to get over there, that is a REP chlorohydrin. This one is a REP chlorohydrin. This is the structure we are getting in this case. And now in the path number second, how do you get that one? Now let us see here, path number second here. So let us see this compound once again as it is, this one. This is a compound OTS, middle one is a OH, here also has a OH. Now this compound treated with this one PH3 in presence of CCl4, right, and this compound when treated with this, what you are going to get? You are going to get here OTS as it is, and here dash OH, and here what is going to get PH3, positive charge comes on it, and now the Cl minus is going to attack on this the Cl minus from this side, and we are going to get here this one. Here is a Cl, now this hydrogen OH and OTS, right, and this further treated with sodium hydroxide, here sodium methoxide in presence of methanol, MEOH, and what you are going to get? You are going to get as a this type of the compound over there, Cl. This is a epoxide you are going to get. This is a EP chlorohydrin. So in this way we have completed. So in exam only just you have to remember only the retrosynthetic analysis and the synthesis. But mechanism is not needed over there. So what are the reagent actually we have used for this, for the synthesis of that RN? Yes, epichlorohydrin. Number one, the reagent we have used as a sodium borohydride in presence of the methanol, right? So that is one of the reagent. Second reagent we have used, what is the role of reagent? The sodium borohydride is used to reduce the carbonyl group into alcohol. Second reagent used, acetone in presence of H plus. The use of this reagent used for the protection of the 1,2-diol. Number 3, we use lead tetraacetate, the reagent used for the oxidative cleavage of 1,2-diol. Then next one you use sodium borohydride in presence of the methanol, again the aldehyde is converted into as a primary alcohol. Further we use as a tosyl chloride in presence of the pyridine. This reagent is used to convert bad living group into as a good living group, or it is a protection of the primary alcohol. And then third one we use as aqueous HCl. Aqueous HCl is used in this particular synthesis for the deprotection of the that 1,2-diol. And next one we have used as a triphenyl phosphate in presence of CCl4. It is used to introduce the chlorine group in that particular synthesis. Then we have used ethylene glycol in presence of the sodium, and this is used for the epoxidation. And fourth one is a sodium methoxide in presence of methanol. Again it is used for the epoxidation. And then MSCl, methyl chloride in presence of pyridine, it is also used for the protection of the primary alcohol. Again concentrated HCl is used to deprotect as a 1,2-diol. So in this way we have completed as a target molecule number second. And as we know that target molecule means what? The molecule whose synthesis being planned is known as a target molecule. I think rest of the 4 molecule we will see in the next lecture one by one. So I think with this let us stop today here. Thank you. Have a nice day.